10 years or so of my professional career was in a manufacturing shop, heavy manufacturing, plant floor stuff. Now, yeah, I was an HR manager, but I was that HR conduit between labor and management. Management came to me to share with labor. Labor came to me to share with management. I was on the floor quite a bit. On this particular day, as is the case with many manufacturing environments, we had a machine failure. An extruder, as I recall, had difficulties and went down. And you know, if a key piece of equipment stays down too long, it can be horrible for the organizational output, for the profitability, efficiency. You know, it just creates bedlam. Well, like I'd seen so many times, all hands on deck. That particular piece of equipment drew everybody from the plant. We had engineers, we had operations people, we had maintenance technicians, we had maintenance employees. We had anybody and everybody, and even for some strange reason, they called me, HR, come out here, we've got a problem. Now, I'm not proud of what I'm about to tell you, but there is nobody that I've ever worked with in a manufacturing environment that is any less mechanically inclined than I am. Again, I'm not proud of that. It's just, that's not my skill set. But they wanted me out there because they were fearful they'd have to shut a line down and what was going to do. I don't know all the details, but I was there. And I remember walking up to the machine and it was like a bunch of rats around a feed source, and they were all right in there. That is the engineer and the supervisors, the managers, the maintenance people. They were all right there except for one person. Maybe you can guess who that one person was. The operator. And he was standing off here 3 or 4 feet away, and he was just standing by himself with his arms crossed. Now, I had walked up, and I'm a couple, 3 feet from him, and I'm just sort of observing this. I don't have anything to offer. I don't know how to fix a piece of equipment. But I noticed this gentleman, and he's standing over there. And so I just sort of took a step or two over to his side, and I crossed my arms like he had his arms crossed, and I turned to him and I asked him a simple question. That question. Ready? What do you think? Now, in all fairness, that was a throwaway question. A throwaway question, equivalent of, nice day, isn't it? Think we'll get any rain? Are you catching any fish? I didn't really care what his answer was. I was trying to break the ice to start a conversation. But that's not how he viewed my question. Arms crossed, sitting next to each other, when I turned to him and said, so what do you think? That was all he needed. The floodgates opened. And they opened in such a way that he immediately started telling me what he thought. He said, well, I'll tell you what I thought. What I think is that machine has been going down for some time. I have reported this 2 or 3 times over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I feel like there's always a little vibration when we first gear up and we start the shift. And then sometimes I notice the tolerances and I notice the quality. And I've announced this to a lot. And he starts with this whole thing. And it's obvious this is not just something he's saying in the moment. This is something he spent a lot of time not only thinking about, but analyzing. It was so important to me that I was overwhelmed. I didn't understand anything that he was saying. And I stop. And when I said to him, stop, he kind of looked at me like, oh, you too. No, I said, hold on, right there. And I took 2 or 3 steps toward where the action was. To where everybody had huddled, and I tapped the engineering manager on the shoulder. Now, just so happened, I and the engineering manager from an organizational chart standpoint were on exactly the same level. So I tapped my colleague on the shoulder. He kind of turned around. I could tell he was perturbed. Kind of turned around and looked at me. He said, what? I said, come here a minute. He said, what? I said, just come here a minute. So he gets up kind of in a huff. And he walks over, and I said, tell him, I turned to the operator, I said, tell him what you were just telling me about what you've noticed about the plant, or about the machine. Just before this person started talking, the engineering manager said, yeah, go ahead, tell me what you know. And he said it in such a dismissive manner, with sarcasm dripping from the words. Neither of us mistook what he was doing. And as soon as he said that, the employee recrossed his arms. No, I don't have anything to say. You just tell me what you want me to do. I'll do it. You guys figure it out. And that was it. There was no more opportunity to learn from one another. There was no more opportunity for there to be conversation or discussion or discourse. It was all over. And it was over because of the manager's indifferent attitude toward a follower. I've thought about that many times since then. That was many years ago. One of the things I've realized is the single most important question a leader can ask a follower. The single most important question a leader can ask a follower is, what do you think? But a leader should never ask that question, never ask that question, unless he or she is fully prepared to listen to the answer with an open mind and a considerate spirit.